Action Recorder is an application that allows you to record gameplay, a desktop region, audio, do benchmarking, take screenshots, and it's really versatile. In this video series, I'm going to do an intro, a brief tour, how to record with Action, video, gameplay, sound, some benchmarking, some of the advanced features, also some tips on how to get better at recording, and go over some of the common issues that people seem to be having and how to fix those. So let's start with a brief tour of Action, then we'll move on to downloading and installation, and then get into the recording features. This video series is a la carte, so it's easy to dial up the information that you need, but it will also be comprised into a playlist, so you won't miss any of the action. With that lame pun, let's get started with the tour. So when you open Action, it defaults to the video recording tab. Let's start at the top. This is just the Action logo. This is just information about the program, the version number. It's licensed to me, it's a registered version. If it's a trial version, it'll have a key here. And the trial version will also have a watermark at the top. I can open one of these videos by double clicking on it, and you can see this was recorded with the trial version. It has the watermark at the top. That will go away when you purchase the application. This minimizes to the tray, this minimizes to the bar, and this closes the application. This is the default output file. This shows that I have 7 recordings and 6.17 gigabytes of space used in this folder. I can sort by date, by size, by name, ascending, descending. I can also click more than or select more than one video by holding Control, or I can click one and then hit Shift and select a series of videos. If I click one of them, it shows the size of the video, the frames per second, how long the video is, and the size of the video. This is a delete key. I can also delete by right clicking. Play the video, open the output folder. This is export. I'll go over that later. This is just some presets for export. I can get to these through the regular export. Well, this is just a quick way of doing it. The video recording tab has a hotkey, and we can change these hotkeys in the settings. It has different recording modes. This is important. The game recording mode uses OpenGL or DirectX to record. The desktop mode does not. It uses what they call Arrow. This can record a region. Again, I'll get into that later. Most of these I'll go into detail later on. You can change the format, AVI, MP4, and this is a hardware acceleration MP4. Video size, frames per second. I can record for a duration, a set duration. Record system sound, this is important. You will not get any sound if this is unchecked. Allow multi-channel audio recording, allows like stereo and 5.1 if you have the inputs for that. Microphone, you can set to do not record, always record. Press on a hotkey, you have to hold it, or you can press and release for on-off operation. You can also start and stop with this big red button here. The live tab is for streaming. I'm not going to get into that too much. This tab is for Android device interface with Action. It only works on Android and is subscription based, so there is a fee for that. I think they do offer a trial for that also. These three use the same folder for default output, so if you change one, it'll change it for all three. That's not the case with the audio, the benchmarking, and the screenshots. They all have their own folders, or you can select their different folders. Notice the M4A purple badge here, that was recorded in MP4. The Wave blue badge was recorded in Wave. This also has a duration, multi-channel audio. Record silence is for continuous recording. If this is unchecked, it will detect the sound and start and stop the recording, or pause and start the recording. Microphone is the same as for video. Benchmarking is kind of a simple benchmark. It's nothing too fancy. I'll open one just to show you. This just shows the frames per second, average frames per second. Screenshot, you can choose between 3 different file formats: bitmap, PNG, and JPEG. Entire desktop, if you have multiple monitors, it will screenshot the whole span of the monitors. Or you can just do the individual desktops. I have 2 monitors, so it's showing 1 and 2 here. This is the settings. Some of these settings overlap for, like, if you're doing video, it'll use some of the settings in the audio. That's maybe a bit confusing at first, until you figure out what settings overlap and which ones don't. These are just some general settings. Again, I'll go into some of this in more depth and more specialized videos. This is for webcam settings, audio settings. This changes the HUD settings. You can record during desktop recording, not record in games. This option here is a choice of starting the HUD on application start. You will have to restart if you change this option. It'll even tell you if you check it. And this will show a webcam preview under the HUD if this is checked, provided that the webcam is enabled and recording. This is export settings, and there's only one option here, so it doesn't let me change this hardware acceleration option. You can record the mouse cursor and the click visualizations. You can split the files into a time interval, but I think it's easier just to edit the files in the editor. This is the export location, so when you export, it does not export in the same location as your video. You can change that. And here we have the hotkeys. You can change any of these hotkeys by clicking on them and selecting a different hotkey. I'll show you the HUD. The HUD, this is the HUD when not recording, and this is arrow means it's recording the desktop. If it's recording game, it'll have DX. It's the type of recording it's doing. Like I said, it uses DirectX when you record gameplay or anything that uses DirectX. This is the average frames per second. This is current frames per second, and this is the status. This will change when it's recording. This is what it looks like when it's recording. It shows the frames per second, and it turns red. Also has a red record button here, and it shows the length of the recording. At the time this was taken, it was only 2 seconds into the recording, so this will change. It accumulates. You can also pause the recording, and this red circle will change to a pause icon. So that's pretty much it for the basic tour. Next, I'll show how to download and install Action, and a little bit about how the purchase works, how to get the key and that sort of thing. So stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching. God bless.